There's a quick short story about two boneheads. The gal's a bonehead, and the guy's an even bigger bonehead. And it's a perfect example of when there are red flags, obvious red flags, it's time to depart. So if your gal asks for an open relationship, or in this case, something even worse you're going to see, you end it with her. You don't stay with her. And if you do, it's only going to get worse with the disrespect and lying and cheating and all that behind the scenes as you're going to see here with this guy. Title: My girlfriend is cheating on me with at least 4 people. It says some background information here. We've been dating for just over 6 years now. Done the whole shebang with family and friends. Very interconnected. When we met, she just got kicked out of her parents' house for stupid reasons. Red flag. Now, unless your parents are a bunch of a-holes, genuinely a-holes, if a gal's being kicked out of her parents' house, I'd tell you something she's up to. You need to investigate. Nope. I let her stay at my place and it essentially blossomed from there. Smack! So, classic nice guy? I bet you if his brother needed a place to stay, he wouldn't let his brother stay with him, but if it was a pretty young gal, come on in, honey, no problem. I will admit, I cheated first in the relationship. I was talking to a person on Discord months after we started dating, though I met them around the same time as her. She found it on my phone one night and we had a huge fight at 3 o'clock in the morning, which eventually simmered down and relaxed. So, this guy cheated. And notice he said with a person and then them. Okay, dude. Why don't you just say it's a girl? Let's be honest here. Alrighty, this is off to a pretty bad start. Not wanting to keep fighting, we talked, moved on, and then around a year or two later in the relationship, she asked me a question. Is it okay to go to an ORGY? Oh yeah, honey, go ahead to the ORGY. I gotta watch what I say here on YouTube here. Dude, massive red flag here. And by the way, she should have ended it with you when you cheated on her on the basis that she wasn't doing anything if she wasn't cheating already. This is a disaster from the get-go here. Well, watch how he handles this. The words broke me and I barely knew how to handle it. Smack! You say get out. We're done with. Why do you want to go to an ORGY? To do a documentary on this? She wants to participate in that? I assumed earnestly that she was going to do it no matter what I said. So I told her that I'm uncomfortable with it, but I can't stop her from doing something she really wants to do. Yeah, you can. You say we're done. That's what you do. That's what a man would do. Now, the term ORGY is extreme, but that's how it was presented. In fact, it was her, 2 other women, and a man who was one of the women's partner. So she went, and it obviously caused a rip because I stupidly didn't even really try to stop it. Well, it's not like you can just lock her in the closet forever and force her and stop her from doing things, but you can end it with her, dude. Obviously, her getting a sausage sandwich and fish tacos was more important to her than your feelings. Why continue a relationship with someone like this? But you're no saint either, because early on you were cheating, but who knows what was going on there. I just assumed she'd know I wasn't okay with that. It made me depressed for months, especially with how she spoke so the extraordinarity of it. Like it was the greatest experience of her life. Again, the best fish tacos ever, and the best sausage sandwich ever. Eventually we didn't speak of it, but ultimately I think it just soured the experience for her. Eventually, we opened our relationship. Smack! Oh, it's been open for a long time, my man. Which I know now is the coughing, sputtering, dying breath of a once monogamous relationship. You never had a monogamous relationship, dude. Come on. We each had people we'd spoken to, things we tried, situations that amounted to nothing. One large event that happened was that the only time I actually slept with somebody, I felt uneasy about it. I lied to her because when I got home, she just had a nightmare and was already clearly upset. Oh, for goodness sake. So, he had one person out of this whole thing because he's saying person. One individual. Meanwhile, no problem for a pretty young gal in her prime in her 20s to get lots of dudes. That did amount to a large argument, one of the biggest we've ever had. And so after taking a while, we just closed our relationship back up, both having left uneasy and unsatisfied with our relationship being open. We found it difficult to be honest, both with each other and people we met. During this, she had a well-paying job and started a hobby of modeling, and I went through several jobs, none of which paid enough. So now she's the higher earner, and she's doing modeling on the side. How long do you think it's going to be before some guy who obviously acts like a freaking man, has his life together, has his crap together, is going to sweep her away, which, like, frankly, would be a blessing to this guy? Think about that. And she's making more money. Gals want a guy that's doing better than them, not the other way around. Through her modeling, she met a man. Big surprise. Who we will call Mark. After we closed our relationship, I learned that she had been intimate with Mark. I found videos on her phone, dozens of phone calls, texts informing him of when she's alone next. We talked about it, and she claims they only had sex twice, both times at his place. I requested that she stop talking to Mark because it made me feel sick to know someone that she cheated on me with was still speaking to her regularly and taking photos of her in their spare time. Dude, how much crap do you have to go through to break up with her? What's the matter with you? Don't you have any other options? Really? Do you look like the Elephant Man? Are you 3 feet tall? Are you hung like a second grader? I mean, what's going on here? Seriously. A few days ago, over a year after closing our relationship, I saw a Snapchat notification on her phone from Mark. I knew something was up then, and then I couldn't bring myself to go through her phone. You couldn't bring yourself to go through her phone? Dude, you obviously need to know. Until today, I went through her phone and found 3 individuals that have our home address, as well as nude pictures of her saved in the chat logs. A FetLife account with dozens of chats from nearby strangers, and one who saved as Bubbles in her phone. Bubbles? Who she's been talking to since at least April of last year, and has apparently had a lot of sex with. Dude, unless you're a cuck and you're just not saying it, you brought this shit on yourself. Well, even if you were a cuck, you brought this on yourself, okay? She ain't cool for doing this to you. Of course not. But you repeatedly had opportunities to get rid of her, and you keep taking her back. Lots of messages saying, when are you free next? And when can I see you? As well as more vulgar pictures being painted by him, constantly giving innuendos about how tight she is and how much he loves her body. And honestly, I don't even know what to do. Smack! Yes, you do. We live together in our own apartment. We literally just adopted 2 puppies together. I thought things were going so effing good until I saw a notification from Mark. Dude, there's been nothing good about your relationship from what you've told us. Now it's Mark and Bubbles and effing Andy and who knows who else. I think it's clear this is unable to be salvaged, you think? But I'm also a hot mess right now. Dude, that's generally what you call women that are having a problem, not a guy. Unsure where to even begin packing. Or start packing. I haven't been a very good partner in this relationship, setting poor boundaries and being a selfish, mean jerk, but ultimately I just want to know what to do now. So I'm going to reenact the scene from Godfather when Johnny Fontaine is sitting on the Godfather's desk and says, "Oh, Godfather, I don't know what to do." And the Godfather jumps up, grabs Johnny Fontaine, and smacks him in the face and says, "You can act like a man." That's what this guy needs. I need to go Godfather in this guy. Dude, you can act like a fucking man, and a man with a brain. It's over. It's been over since the beginning. It was over from the get-go. All right? And yeah, you said you cheated on her in the beginning, but regardless, I think remember she was kicked out of her parents' house? Gee, I wonder why, what she was up to. She is not relationship material. End of story. End it. You got a couple puppies. I feel bad for those little puppies, but either she needs to go or you need to go and find a new place. End of freaking story. I don't know what the terms of your lease are or what the situation is there, but you cannot be with someone like this. She's a serial cheater. Her actions are spitting in your face while she's spitting Chad and Tyrone's stuff out in that freaking wastebasket. Okay? It's over. And you need to do some serious work on yourself and stop addressing other people you get involved with as partners of them or whatever, I might add. And that's that. And you work on yourself and find out why you are the type of guy that keeps allowing yourself to be taken advantage like this. Why you don't stand up for yourself. I mean, really, okay? But whining about it, crying about it, and all that's not going to fix the situation here. Get some fucking balls and some self-respect. If you got issues with self-esteem, it's time to work on them. Perhaps, and in this situation it's necessary, you find the right therapist, a guy to help you out, and a good one, to dig down deep why you allow someone like this in your life and let them keep doing this stuff to you. Again, you're no saint, but come on here. I mean, really. So guys, perfect example here, like I said, of 2 boneheads, 2 idiots, and don't be like them and learn from these mistakes. They bring up open relationship, open marriages, and ORGY. It is over. And once a cheater, always a cheater. You need to cut them off and move on.